I've done it again. Good morning and welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be slightly different to what I had originally planned, and that's simply because, being the young, adventurous lad I am, I've gone and injured my back quite severely whilst mountain biking at the weekend. It's a very visual injury and I'm going to go upstairs and show you that in just a second. The plan for today's video was meant to be me taking you through my first ever hill workout as part of marathon training, but that's going to have to wait for a future date now, as I literally can't run because of my back. So instead, what I'm going to do is talk you through my entire running shoe collection from start to finish and give you some top tips on things to look out for when you're buying your next pair of running shoes, because without a good pair of running shoes, you're not going to get very far. But that's coming in a later part of the video. For now, I really want to show you this injury. So I've come to my bathroom, which is a little bit echoey, but it's the brightest part of the house and probably the place where you can get the best view. The injury doesn't look great, and for anyone who doesn't deal well with blood or gore or any type of injury, please now skip to this point of the video, because you're completely avoiding any of this and you can enjoy the rest of the video completely normally. For all of you weird injury freaks, I'm going to try and get the best angle possible to show you my back. And we're currently 3 days after it happened, so it looks a little bit better already. Pretty cool, right? I've only shown you a very small percentage of the entire injury there, but that's the worst part and the part that's probably causing me the most pain and is the main reason why I can't run. I've also got cuts on my legs, my butt cheek, my elbow and my shoulder, but I don't really feel like getting all of those body parts out on camera for the entire internet to see. So I have been to the doctors and they did say that none of it looks infected and it's all very, very clean, which, touch wood, means I should make a full recovery and we should still be fine to run the Manchester Marathon next year. But for now, you can sit back and enjoy the rest of the video. And if you haven't already, can you leave a like? Because apparently that helps on YouTube. Right, so I've gone through and I've found every pair of running shoes I believe I still own. I've laid them out in an order from oldest to newest, because it only makes sense to go through them in chronological order. In the process, I'm going to give them all a rating out of 10 and let you know how they were to run in and if I'd recommend ever wearing them for any of your runs. So starting off with the oldest pair of running shoes I still own to this day, we have got my Nike Free Runs. Now, you would think the fact they have run in their name would make them a suitable candidate for a beginner running shoe. You're absolutely wrong. I remember buying these mainly to be a daily trainer, but I did end up going on a few runs in them, and I think I even managed to run a 5k in them. However, the support and stability the shoe offers just isn't great. There's not really a lot of structure to any part of the shoe. So if I was rating this on how good it is at being a daily trainer, it would definitely get a higher rating. But because I'm rating this on how good it is as a running shoe, it's only going to receive a 4 out of 10. Next up, we have got a shoe that I purchased about 3 years ago during the first ever lockdown, and it is my New Balance Fuel Cell Echoes. These were the pair of shoes that fully kicked off my running journey, made me want to buy my first ever pair of proper running shoes. I wore them for a fair few 5Ks, and I'm pretty sure I even took them trail running. Not a great idea. Would not recommend it, or at least not in these shoes. Comparing them to the Free Runs, you can instantly tell that they're actually made to be worn for running. They've got a much better heel toe drop and there's a lot more support around your ankle and your arch. In terms of a rating, I still think they're more tailored towards being a daily trainer, but because they do have that slight edge in terms of support, I'm gonna have to give them a 5 out of 10. So they're not great, but there's also worse options out there. So continuing with the lockdown theme, we have got the Nike Zoom Vomero 14s. I am so annoyed at myself because I can't find this shoe anywhere in my house. But these are the shoes that kicked off my addiction to running. I went on a run in these shoes every single day in January and they never let me down. They had amazing grip, they had amazing support. Yes, they were a little bit heavy, but all the other benefits completely counterbalance that. But honestly, as a beginner running shoe, they served me so well. And for that reason, I'm going to give them a 6.5 out of 10. To finish off the pairs of shoes that I bought during lockdown, we have got my Nike Zoomfly 3s. These are quite possibly one of the best pairs of shoes I have ever worn. And that's so controversial because so many reviews online hate them. They were my first ever pair of carbon plated shoes, and I did everything in these, from running a sub 18 minute 5k all the way up to running my first ever half marathon. They were lightweight, they were comfy, they were supportive, they didn't give up. Honestly, they were so good, and if I could own another pair of these, I genuinely think I would jump at the opportunity to. And for that exact reason, I'm going to give them a 9 out of 10. Moving on to what I would class as my first ever marathon level shoe, we have actually got the New Balance RC Elite V2s. I bought these shoes fully knowing I wanted to run a marathon at some point in my life. And I really thought they were going to be the shoe that was going to get me there. Now, I know so many people who have had amazing experience with New Balance shoes and especially their marathon range. Mine just weren't great. The actual insoles of the shoe would always ride up, so therefore the end of the shoe would leave my toe with like no underlay or any support, and they just weren't a pleasurable shoe to run in. Now, I'm probably like a freak case, and I'm sure if I reached out to New Balance, they would totally help me out. I just couldn't really be bothered. They were comfy and they were kind of nice, but they were just really annoying to run in. So I'm going to give them a 6.5 out of 10. So sadly, because of all the issues I had with my New Balances, I decided to go back to wearing Nike shoes. And that is when I bought the very, very sought after Nike Vaporfly 3s. So many people told me I was an idiot for buying these as a training shoe, but oh my god, they are very, very close to having the top spot on this list. In fact, I think they're going to be joint top with my Zoomfly 3s. For anyone that doesn't know, this is one of Nike's newest marathon shoes, and it's super comfy, it's super lightweight, and it's just everything you want in a marathon shoe. Mine have now got well over 300 miles in them, and I've done everything from half marathons all the way up to 16-mile long runs. I literally don't have a bad thing to say about this shoe, other than I just wish it lasted a little bit longer. And for that reason, it's getting a 9 out of 10, just like the Zoomfly 3s did. To finish off today's list, I have got a shoe which I genuinely think is going to last forever, and it's my Nike Invincible 3s. I wear these shoes for literally every type of training session, and they never let me down. I wear them for speed work, I wear them for long runs, I wear them for easy runs, and every time my feet feel cushioned, they feel supported, and they always are left feeling super fresh. I know these are mainly used for recovery runs and the longer runs at easy paces, but honestly, if you've got the money and you want to try a pair of shoes, buy a pair of these because they actually surprise you when it comes to the easy runs. Mine have got well over 200 miles on them now, and the treads on the bottom still look like they are brand new out of the box. They are slightly heavier than the Zoomflies and the Vaporflies, and that is the only letdown to this shoe, is you do realise just how much more weight you're carrying under your foot. So with all of that being said, they're going to get a very reputable 8.5 out of 10, only because they weigh a little bit more. The amount of running shoes available for sale on the internet is overwhelming even for the most elite level runners. And I know when I was starting out trying to find my perfect pair, it was a complete minefield. So here's a few questions I always ask myself when I'm trying to find the perfect pair for me. So first off, what is the shoe going to be used for? Is it going to be a daily trainer? Is it going to be used for a specific type of workout? Or heck, is it even going to be your race day shoe? Asking yourself this question will help you understand what it is you actually want to get out of the pair of shoes you're buying. As a beginner, I'd recommend trying to find a shoe that is going to work in as many situations as possible. This should be a shoe which is comfortable for all different types of workouts, all the different types of surfaces you may be running on, and heck, even one that you could wear when you're running a race. For the next question, you're going to need to be brutally honest with yourself. How committed am I to running? You can buy a pair of running shoes anywhere from 50 quid all the way up to £200 plus. So you need to decide if you're going to wear this shoe for months on end or give up after 2 weeks. If you think you're the type of person that won't stick to running, maybe stick to a shoe on the lower end price points. However, in some cases, buying an expensive marathon shoe can actually be the motivation you need to stick with running. I know for a fact I spent over £100 on my New Balances, and the only reason I kept running, even though they had the issues I've already spoken about, was because of the price. So if you've got £200 spare, maybe forking it out on a pair of marathon shoes is the motivation you need. The third and final question I'd get you to ask yourself is, how long do I want my shoes to last? As weird as it sounds, all shoes have a lifespan which is unique to that style and model of shoe. For some shoes, like my Invincible 3s, this is well over 500 miles. Whereas for marathon shoes, this can be anywhere from 200 miles or less. And when you continue to run in a pair of shoes that is way past its lifespan, this is a one-way ticket to Injuryville. So if you're not someone who wants to be forking out on a brand new pair of shoes every month or two, maybe look for a pair that has a much higher mileage lifespan. If this all still seems a bit daunting for you and you just want some solid choice of shoes as a beginner runner, here's 3 options you can't really go wrong with. First off is the Nike Pegasus 40. Along with these, I'd also recommend the Hoka Rincon 3s. And then finally, a little bit more on the pricey side, we have the On Cloudmasters. They're perfect for 5Ks, 10Ks, and even half marathons, and you can do basically every session in these shoes. There is tons of content on the internet about running shoes, all of which is trying to help you find the perfect pair of shoes for you. Don't get me wrong, all beginners get sucked into the same trap of searching for hours and hours through millions of different articles, trying to figure out what pair of shoes they should buy. But if I could give you one piece of solid advice, it's the only thing that will matter as a beginner is getting out the door and putting some miles on your shoes. It took me 4 pairs of shoes before I finally found a pair that I fell in love with. And the only reason I found that pair was because of the hundreds of miles I put on the pairs prior. Now, in more exciting news, I'm going to be in the market for 2 brand new pairs of shoes very shortly. One of which is going to be my final pair of marathon training shoes, and then the second pair is going to be the pair of shoes I actually wear for my marathon. So if you have got any advice whatsoever about the types of shoes I should look into, please let me know in the comments, as it will be greatly appreciated. With all that being said, that is the end of today's video. If you've enjoyed it, please consider leaving a like, and if you want to see more content like this in the future, consider hitting that subscribe button. I'm really enjoying making running content for this channel, and after the response of my first running video, I think it's going to be something that sticks around a little while longer. So whatever you choose to do with the rest of your day, I hope it's great, and I'll catch you all in the next one. It's fine, I'm not trying to film anything here.